We are getting a new free legendary attack, and the best part is all we need to do is to actually log in. So today we need to go ahead and take a look at Leminisi's skills and what is going on with this chase. Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned, we have the Leminisi chase going on right now, and to actually get this champion, one of the easiest things we need to do is simply to log in for 7 days to actually get her. Now, if you keep logging in, we are going to get some soul stones for her as well. So all of this in combination makes for a essentially great free legendary that we can actually get. However, I haven't actually taken a full look at the skills yet. That is something I wanted to do with you guys so I can kind of analyze this champion and how well they're actually going to fit into my own team and my own gameplay. Now, the first thing I need to do is actually go and take a look at the Sylvan Watchers, because this is arguably one of my weakest points, especially on this account. If I actually look at the number of champions I have out of here, it is my weakest with 13 out of 51. And on this account, I actually have 0 legendaries in here and not a whole lot of epics either. So I really could definitely use some help over here. Now, going ahead and taking a look at Leminisi, the Golden Wing. She is a legendary attack type, and with that, she also has an aura which increases ally attack in battles by 25%. Now, it is going to be very helpful for me for faction wars because, as I've already shown you guys, it's one of my weak points, so it's also quite weak in faction wars. Her first skill attacks an enemy 2 times. If the target is under a shield buff, each hit will have 25% chance of decreasing the value of the shield by 10%. Will also ignore 50% of the target's resistance if the target is from the corrupted alliance. If the target is not under any shield buffs, will ignore 10% of the target's defense instead. I do like that. I like that there have the, like, oh, if it's got a shield, this is what's going to happen. However, if it's not, we're still going to give you something, and all of that is on a skill 1. Very nice. Skill 2 attacks an enemy 2 times and has a 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs from the target. This is going to be helpful again in faction wars for sure, but also other areas of this game. Could definitely see her actually working. Will also ignore 50% of the target's resistance if the target is from the corrupted alliance. We've kind of seen that. This skill deals more damage equal to the value of the target's current turn meter. That's interesting, the fact that it's going to do more damage depending on their turn meter. So this could actually be one of those kind of fun champions. Now, skill 3 attacks all enemies 2 times. I love that it is an AoE twice. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Second hit has a 50% chance of placing a block buff debuff for 2 turns. And then again, we have that whole ignoring the resistance of the target from the corrupted alliance. Also has a passive here. Receives 15% less damage from enemies under heal reduction debuffs. Fills this champion's turn meter by 5% whenever an enemy receives a shield buff or is healed. So overall, yes, she is an attack type, but I do think she's a champion that would be kind of fun, and there's definitely a few places to actually use her. Now for this champion, I can go ahead and I can compare this to other legendaries I have. She is a legendary attack, and I definitely have a few of them in terms of that legendary attack, but I don't necessarily have champs that really do exactly what she does. So I am kind of excited to add her into my team, especially being free. And that's one of the biggest things. She's a legendary, she's free. At the end of the day, regardless how many champions you actually have, it's somebody that you're just going to add into your roster, whether you're going to use her or not. At least you're getting her, right? If you're in something like my shoes, she's definitely going to help. And as I said, for faction wars, I actually almost wish this was open so I could show you guys, but I've only gotten 7 stars on here. Like, put that into perspective of not that my Lizardman is much better with 10, but comparing it to like 52 for Sacred Order, 50 for Barbarian, like tremendously low. 7, you guys, 7. So I already know that this champion is going to do wonders for me in faction wars, even though I'm nowhere near hard mode, at least even for regular mode. On this account, I'm only at part 8 out of 21 on here, and I'm close actually into stepping to the next one if I can get a couple more stars. So I actually think as soon as I get Leminisi, I'm planning on building her right away. Now, I don't think that I'm really going to be using her in a place like Arena, for example. I definitely have my champs I'm already using in here. I have champs I'm comfortable with in Arena. I don't think personally she is a role I will necessarily take along with me. Even in thinking of live arena, which I have been doing a little bit more, I don't think that for my account and myself, that's a place that she's really going to fit in. So I'm not thinking about her from a PvP perspective per se. Not to say like, oh, she's an impossible champ to use her. You use who you have, and if she fits in your team, that's great. For myself though, I don't think this is going to be kind of the role in the place that I'm really going to take her and really have her shine overall. So in terms of how I plan to actually build this champion, this is probably not going to be the direction that I personally am going to be going with, but instead I'm going to be seeing what PvE parts can I actually use her in and how will she help me there. One of the places I think that she may actually fit pretty well into is actually my Doom Tower, because in Doom Tower, I've definitely come across secret rooms where I'm actually just not able to do it because I don't really have the champions based on the stipulations and everything, but also some of those boss floors. For the longest time, I didn't have a great heal reduction champ, and that is one of the roles that I'm not saying she'll necessarily, she'll fill specifically for just heal reduction, but in general, I actually think Doom Tower is one of those places I'll be able to use her even if I don't take her up to 60. And that is the other thing to kind of remember. I know with a lot of people, it's like, oh, I have these champions I'm working to build. I don't have a problem actually taking her straight to 50. Probably won't bring her to 60 right away unless I really do need her for the Sylvan Watchers faction. But with something like 50, that's pretty easy. And I think that alone will actually be able to help me out. As I said, if there's any specific things I'm doing in Doom Tower, or even if I'm coming across something in Cursed City, there's definitely ones in Cursed City where I just don't have the champs for it, just based on what they are requiring you to actually use. So for that reason, that is one of the ones that I think I'm excited to actually get her. And as I said, by logging in, we do also get Perfect Soul for her, which is another great thing just really to have on a champion, because then we are going to be able to add that blessing onto her, which I do think is going to be super useful. I will say I am quite excited actually to get the gear. It is going to be some Savage gear, so I am actually going to hopefully get something that's useful out of here, because in terms of Savage and what I've actually got going on, what I can actually use for, I guess, what's actually usable in that sense, there's definitely been a few chances that I'm like, oh, I would love to put this champion on Savage, and I just don't have what I'm looking for specifically in here. So hopefully I'll be able to get something that is going to be usable. I'm kind of slowly building this up a little bit in terms of gear, but the stats aren't always the best. So I definitely need to do some upgrading, cleaning this up and kind of seeing what's what. But as I said, we do get some free Savage gear in there, which is going to be good and I think is going to be helpful. Now, in terms of the champion herself, I think this goes along with every login champion. I don't think we will ever necessarily get one that's like tremendously broken, that's like, oh my god, she's incredible, breaks the game. And I think the other side of that is if you do have a ton of legendaries, you're gonna read her skills and be like, oh, that's it, that's all she does. But like I said, for my case, where I'm at in this game, I'm excited because she is going to fill a bit of a role in there. So as I said, the A1, you're ignoring some of their defense, at least if they are not under a shield. And this may work for PvP, actually. If you are going into a team that has a lot of shielders, then maybe you want to bring her along for that sense. The fact that she can remove buff, deal more damage based on their turn meter, that is something I do also like as well. And like I said, the heal reduction, the blocking of the buffs, all of those things coming into a champion, regardless of if you think they are game breaking or not. I think she is a champ that at the end of the day is going to be at least somewhat useful if you don't have a champ that's really already filling that role out for you. I think that's like a big thing to consider too, right? If you have champions that are already filling those roles and doing all those, you know, the things that you're not really struggling with, then yeah, you'll probably just take her and storage her. But again, from me and my perspective, this one is going to be huge for me with faction wars, and I don't have to do anything. I just have to really log in, especially because we do have a fusion going on right now, right? We definitely have something else that's kind of occupying us. If you are going ahead and actually working on that fusion, then that is probably taking some of your time that you maybe, you know, you don't have time to actually devote into other areas of the game and doing a lot of other things. This is something I talked about in the past about how I'm trying to focus in, trying to get some of my masteries done. But now that at some point we will have a 8x2 unminnow coming, that's kind of on pause until that happens. And I'm trying to just go along with events, farming some of the dungeons, and just following the game along like the best that I can. As to how I actually want to build her and the gear that I do want to put onto her, that's also going to come down to what I've actually got going on and what's available to me. In terms of my gear, what do I actually have to work with? Because she is going to be a champ that potentially has like attacking an enemy twice, she has an AoE in there. So I may potentially try to put her on something like a Relentless, because for myself, I have quite a bit of gear in here. So this is probably what I will be leaning towards. And of course, trying to lean into her attack side more. So kind of playing up on the crit rate, crit damage, attack, and of course speed. So that's the stats that I'll kind of be focusing on, and I think makes sense for everybody. She's an attack type. We're going to be trying to get those attack stats onto her. And then I guess in terms of having to go ahead and do her masteries, this is something that I'm going to have to wait, I think, until Minnow ×2, so I don't think I'm gonna rush necessarily to do her masteries right away. So we'll kind of see where things go along with that. And in terms of gear, when I actually get her, I will end up building her, and I will just end up making a video on her and talk about how I will personally find her useful and where I'm kind of fitting her into my own teams and where I have found value in this champion. But of course, until I actually get her and kind of have her built, then that is as much as I will be able to say on her. But anytime we have like a free champ is a login and, you know, comes along with some other stuff as well, I'm still excited for it. Hoping the savage gear is how I want it to be. Hopefully it's not like flat boots I'm sitting on here and waiting for. But I mean, even if it is, that's totally okay. It is what it is. There will be a primal shard in here. So, you know, each primal shard, you never know. There could be a mythical in there. Always remain optimistic, you guys. That is all that we can really do. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1. And then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. Overall, I am excited to get Leminisi and actually try her out and fit her into my team. And honestly, you guys, just make more progress in Faction Wars. I do think for myself, that's where she will have the most impact. But I do want you guys comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and be sure you subscribe so you're able to see what I end up doing with her when I get her. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!